In this video, we are breaking down the forecast region by region for this upcoming massive winter storm. The time to prepare is now, especially if you live in an area that's expecting significant ice accumulations. We're gonna go over all the latest information so you can stay ahead of this thing. Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. This is a huge storm that will almost affect everyone in the United States in some way. So I'm gonna try my best here to make it easy for you to understand what impacts you can expect in your area. So I'm gonna break this down region by region. All right, so before we get started, let's go ahead and talk about those regions. We're going to start off with what I'm going to call the south central or the central portion of the U.S., and then we will talk about the southeastern portion of the U.S. and the impacts from this storm. And then I'm going to refer to this entire area up here as the Ohio Valley. And then last but not least, we are going to do what I call the Northeast here, and that will include the Mid-Atlantic region as well, okay? So let me know if you guys like this method, and let's get right into talking about the central U.S. All right, switching over here to the NAM 3-kilometer model. This is what the radar could look like as we go into the future. And remember, if you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always displayed above my head in Eastern time because that's where I'm from. So let's get this bad boy on the road here. You can see all that moisture streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico and combining with our polar cold front. Once again, around 4 to 7 p.m. tomorrow, this is going to start off as rain. But very quickly, this is going to turn into what we call an overrunning event as that warm air from the south overruns the cold air that's coming out of the north. And by 5 a.m. on Wednesday, we're going to see an all-out snowstorm from the I-25 corridor in New Mexico all the way up into the Denver region, in the panhandle of Oklahoma, and a lot of central and eastern Kansas. In fact, around this time, it should be snowing heavily around Kansas City. Kirksville, Missouri, you guys are going to be having heavy snow at this time, but look just to the south here in Oklahoma and Missouri, you see the pinks and you see the purples. That is sleet and freezing rain, and this is going to be a big problem with this storm. Now, if you don't know the difference between that, sleet is the ice pellets that fall from the sky. Okay, it'll kind of remind you of hail, but really small, kind of like Dippin' Dots. It's basically raindrops that freeze before they hit the ground. Now, in the purple here, this is freezing rain. This is what we refer to as ice, and this is what's going to cause our ice storm. Now, this is just regular rain that falls from the sky, but it's falling in an area where the temperature is going to be below 30 degrees, so it freezes on impact. That's why we call it freezing rain. Let's kick it forward just a little bit more. Remember yesterday I called this a 1-2 punch, okay? So the first punch really doesn't affect Texas that much, and the further north you go in Oklahoma, the more it'll affect you. But this big piece of energy that's dropping a ton of snow in the mountains is going to link up with another area of low pressure and create our second punch, which will be in full effect around 10 p.m. on Wednesday. We're expecting heavy snow through a lot of Oklahoma, a lot of sleet potentially in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and just regular old heavy rain down towards southeastern Texas. This progresses according to the NAM model into a full-on ice storm for a lot of northeastern Texas here. And then look at this, heavy rain starts moving into the cold air there in central Arkansas, and this big band of freezing rain occurs. Now, the problem here in Arkansas is going to become the duration of the event, right? So if you get heavy rain that's freezing rain for more than like 3 or 4 hours, then yeah, it's going to be a big problem. It does look like a lot of Oklahoma here is going to remain snow, or at least mostly snow for the duration of the event. And then of course we're going to have one last shot of moderate snow showers work through central and northern Texas before this thing moves completely out of here, okay? So once again, there's your full progression. Now, what I'm showing you here is the National Forecast Database. This is a conservative forecast. It's kind of like in the middle of the road. I expect some of you will see more than this, and a couple of you might see less than this. Dodge City, Kansas, 5 or 6 inches. Remember, that's in the middle of the road. Wichita's also looking like about 5 inches. Kansas City looks like closer to 6 inches. Oklahoma City, about 3 or 4 inches. How about you Amarillo, Texas, with 3 to 4 inches of snow? Wichita Falls with 2 or 3 inches. Now, another thing I want to mention is that these models are sometimes they can underdo the cold air with these things. So if this shifts at all, I think it's going to shift a little bit to the south and east. So right now, Dallas, you're in like maybe an inch of snow. Like that might be the extent of it for you. However, there's still a chance that you could get a couple of inches out of this thing if it does shift a little bit further to the south and east. The real winners here are going to be up here in Missouri. Springfield's looking like 6 or 7 inches. St. Louis looks like around a foot of snow. And places like Jefferson City and Columbia are going to get more than a foot of snow, more than likely. And here's a look at that ice forecast, okay? Remember, this is extreme extremely conservative. I think a lot of you guys are going to get more than this. We're generally talking about a glaze of ice for the vast majority of Texas here. Some of you could approach a quarter of an inch of ice, which will cause isolated power outages. And I know some of you guys are scared. Some of you guys literally have like PTSD from this last winter event that we had last year. I don't think this one's going to be as bad. I really don't. However, I would not be doing my job if I didn't say that it would be smart of you to prepare, especially if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth region and points north and east, okay, near Sherman. We could certainly see enough ice down here to cause power outages and problems with travel. And then after this storm goes by, there is going to be some cold air that sets in. The real big concerning area is going to be central Arkansas here. From Little Rock to Jonesboro, we're expecting maybe a half an inch of ice. And remember, that's extremely conservative. Some of you guys could see 3/4 of an inch of ice to maybe even a whole inch of ice. It depends on the duration of the event. Obviously, this is going to come down to nowcasting, but it doesn't hurt at all to go ahead and prepare. Get the generator ready, gas up the cars, charge up all of your devices, get backup batteries and charge up those as well. And just imagine whatever you need if you can't leave or you don't want to leave your house for a couple of days after this thing hits. All right, moving on to the southeast here. Let's put this thing into motion. And unfortunately for a lot of you guys, all the action, all the snow, I know you guys want the snow. It's going to be way off to your north and west. I don't think we're going to have any snow problems down here anytime soon, but there is going to be a lot of rain coming up through Louisiana and Mississippi, which could cause some isolated flooding and flash flooding problems. And then, of course, as we head into the second punch of that storm, we are going to see some ice break out in western Tennessee, more than likely. In a very small portion of the state close to the Mississippi River is where we expect, the most problems with ice accumulation. But then look at this. On Thursday, this thing's finally going to pull out of here and go to the north and east. And on the southern side, I think we have a real chance of severe weather. Let's lower our resolution here and go even further into the future. Yeah, we're going to have a full-on line of storms go through Mississippi and Alabama and portions of Tennessee and Louisiana as we go forward. And I think we could definitely see severe weather and tornadoes, especially on the southern side. You can see we have a pretty decent nose of convective available potential energy coming up into Louisiana and Mississippi. And it's around this time that I think we will almost certainly see some severe thunderstorm warnings and also possibly a tornado warning or two as this massive storm pulls up all that moisture and energy from the Gulf and mixes it in with that cold air on the backside. Other than the severe weather, keep your eye over here in Tennessee and Kentucky and northern Alabama. There's going to be a lot of rain that just goes over the same areas over and over again. So that's going to lead to flooding. Once again, everybody in the reds and the dark reds here needs to be concerned if you live in a flood prone area, because I do believe that a lot of this rain is going to fall in a short period of time. And if you get over 3 or 4 inches, that can lead to some big time problems. So if you live in a flood prone area, be weather aware. Here's a look at those ice totals. Once again, western Tennessee, we are looking at possibly a 1/4 of an inch of ice to a 1/2 an inch of ice as a conservative forecast. If I lived in Memphis all the way up through Covington, Dyersburg, Union City, I would certainly be taking this very seriously. And remember, like I've been saying this whole time, if this shifts anywhere at all, it's going to shift slightly to the south and east. So that means northwestern Mississippi might even be in on some of this ice accumulation. Do whatever's best for you, but certainly don't ignore the signs here. All right, let's come up into the Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley. We're going to see these rain showers start to switch over to snow between 1 and 3 a.m. early in the morning on Wednesday. And buddy, it's going to be heavy snow over here in Illinois as some really heavy snow starts to accumulate in association with this first punch of snow. Remember, up here especially, we're definitely going to be talking about a 1-2 punch of snow. This first punch is going to be a little bit further north than the second one. So Indianapolis, you guys are going to see a lot of rain from this. Cincinnati, you guys are going to see a lot of plain rain from this. Louisville, and even up here in Toledo, Ohio, you guys might start off as a little bit of rain, but it's possible that you don't, because once again, I do believe that the warm air is a little bit over exaggerated here. So let's keep pushing this forward. Let's watch that whole first slice come through. And it's not until we get into around 1 a.m. on Thursday that the real ice accumulation problem starts to unfold here with our ice storm portion of the storm. So of course, that's Paducah all the way up to Louisville, Cincinnati, and then even into south central portions of Ohio a little bit. We are going to be talking about some of that significant ice. Look at this long duration of just freezing rain falling right there in the border area. And the problem with a lot of this is light rain, right? This is going to be kind of like a freezing drizzle or a freezing sprinkle or whatever you want to call it, which actually is going to be worse for ice accumulation when it actually starts building up on tree limbs and power lines. The finer the precipitation, the more problems we're going to be having there. So I think that this is going to be like the bull's bullseye for most ice, but we can't ignore this second punch, okay? When this heavy rain starts moving up into portions of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, and we see this band of freezing rain, this is certainly going to add insult to injury, so be prepared for that. And then we have to lower our resolution a little bit to go further into the future. The snow should be moving out of Illinois and Indiana by 10 p.m. on Thursday, and it'll be out of Ohio more than likely by 7 a.m. on Friday. And you can also see that some of that ice is going to slide through central and eastern Kentucky into West Virginia as well, but for the most part, I think the biggest problems are going to be right over here. Here's a look at those ice accumulations. Once again, if you're in the dark pink here, we're expecting up to a half an inch of ice. Conservatively, wouldn't be surprised if some of you guys saw 3/4 of an inch of ice, and that is going to cause widespread power outages. Some of them could last for a day or more. Okay, so prepare now for the worst case scenario. And then, yeah, you can throw tomatoes at your weatherman if it ends up not happening. If that makes you feel better about it, I don't know, but I promise you, if it does happen, you're gonna wish you would have listened. And then here's them snowfall totals. Once again, this is the middle of the road. Springfield, Illinois, how would you like to have 15 inches of snow? Chicago looks like around 9 to 10 inches. It really just depends on which part of town you're in, and the further north you go, the less snow you're gonna get. Champaign, how about 17 inches of snow? Kokomo, Indiana, 20 inches. Fort Wayne, Indiana, 21 inches maybe. Indianapolis, once again, I think you're in a really tough area to forecast. We're talking about maybe 6 to 12 inches, and it really just depends on how long you stay rain in that first punch. So it'll come down to nowcasting for you guys. Toledo with 18 inches or so. Detroit looks like around a foot or so, and it could be more than that. This is really conservative, I think. So as you can tell, this is going to be an extreme snowstorm for you guys. This doesn't happen over here very often. In fact, I think that places like Champaign, Illinois can possibly see more than 20 inches of snow, which has never happened before as far as we know. And you know, Detroit, they've only ever seen one snowstorm where they've got more than 20 inches of snow. Possibly looking like an extreme record-breaking snowfall event for a lot of you guys. If you hate snow, I'm sorry, I can't control it. If you love snow, you're welcome. I did this. All right, let's look up here into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast regions. Now, the forecast is still a little wonky up here. We're not 100% sure what's going to happen. I'm just going to be honest with you. But this is our best guess right now, okay? We're going to see rain and freezing rain move into Pennsylvania and portions of Maryland and Virginia around 1 a.m. on Thursday, okay? This is going to be light freezing rain and mostly reserved for the higher elevations here. But you can see up here near Toronto and back towards the Canadian areas, we're seeing heavy snow breakout. And some of that snow is going to make it into upstate New York and western New York and northwestern Pennsylvania by 7 a.m. on Thursday. And that freezing rain is likely going to become a little bit more of an issue here, especially in east central Pennsylvania. So we'll have to watch that pretty closely. All rain, though, in Washington, D.C. Looks like a big rainstorm for Philadelphia. Mostly rain down there in New York City. But look at this. As we go off later into the day on Friday, we are going to see this thing exit. And as it exits, the colder air from that polar cold front is going to come in behind it. And it's going to try to convert some of this to freezing rain and snow on its way out. From northern Virginia into Maryland, into eastern Pennsylvania, in New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and maybe even into southern portions of New Hampshire and Maine as well. But once again, this is going to change a lot, okay? This could shift south and you guys get more snow. This could shift north, and this is all rain. I'm not paying too much attention to the exact totals and stuff. You're pretty much almost certainly going to get all snow way up here in northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. But it's the areas further south that we are kind of conflicted about as to whether or not you're going to see an ice storm. And then areas further south from there, it's most certainly going to be all rain for you. Here's a look at what the snow totals could be if it goes a little bit further south. And as you can see, it's a general 6 to 10 inches for a lot of you up here, with maybe an additional 3 or 4 inches where we were clobbered by that blizzard the other day. And then, of course, we do have to watch out for that freezing rain as well in Pennsylvania and maybe around New York, Connecticut, and those places. But it's too early to be talking about exact numbers right now. Stay tuned. Super huge shout out to our members over here. We have some of our first ever pink badges now. If you see somebody in chat or in the comment section with a pink lightning bolt next to their name, that means they've been a supporter here for over a year. These guys believed in what we were doing back when we only had a couple hundred people tuning in. So thank you all so much. We will be doing a members only live stream tonight at some point. I don't know exactly when still, but I'll see you over there, or I'll see you tomorrow in more than likely a public live stream for several hours. So turn the notifications on, all right?